Hey guys, it's Tricia Carr. I have new exciting things going on with my Mystic Arts Academy. You can now subscribe to receive all of the live monthly content for about a third of the investment of a single class. Included are at least one downloadable guided meditation per month, 2 live events ranging from classes, channeled messages, group readings, intuitive development guidance, Q&A sessions, and tons of community. You'll also have access to a private Facebook community for fellowship and support, and this space is kept super sacred and high vibrational. Your subscription gives you access to the whole library of classes and live events, which are on a vast array of topics. All events are offered online by Zoom video call, and many are also offered live in person at my studio here in Los Angeles. Subscribing to the Mystic Arts Academy is also a way for you to support the Charmed Life podcast and engage on a deeper level. I'm offering the subscription at a super low rate of $22 a month. Joining now locks in this rate for as long as you're subscribed. Click on the description of this episode or go to my website, triciacarcharm.com, and click on Mystic Arts Academy. I look forward to connecting. Hi everyone, it's Tricia Carr. Welcome to Phase 20. That is the 20th day of 29 days of lunar phase and a mini episode of Charmed Life. Thank you so much for coming along with the ride with me. And if you are new to this channel or this podcast, just know that you can catch either the video version of this or the podcast version of it on the requisite outlets. So I'm on YouTube as well. And then, of course, however you get your podcasts, I'm there, Spotify or iHeartRadio or, Apple Podcasts. And these are my mini episodes that I'm doing. If you're brand new to this, I was, like I said, yesterday's episode, I was just on a few podcasts, so I could have new people coming in right now. I'm doing mini episodes every day. Currently, I'm doing a series of lunar charting or lunar phasing and charting the moon, the global lunar cycle, so that we can align with abundance and manifestation. And this is the 20th day, the moon that is about 20 days old. And we are in a waning gibbous moon. And if you are new to this channel, then you should know also that I have my full episodes of Charmed Life every Sunday. It's live streamed on YouTube and on different social media platforms like Facebook, and also just released onto the podcast feed. Every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific, at 12 noon Pacific, I interview guest experts, and I also do full live teaching. Yeah, they're live, but I do full teachings on the podcast, sometimes just solo episodes. About every month, sometimes 6 weeks, I will do one of those episodes, and I'll do live channeling or teaching of some kind. And so, check that out every Sunday. The way that you can tell if it's a full episode is it actually just starts with the number. So I'm about episode number 160 or something like that. So if you scroll through the mini episodes and you want to see one of the long episodes, and obviously there is the subject and sometimes the guest names right there where you can see it in the title. And you can watch the episode that starts with a number if you prefer that. And if you're on the YouTube channel, then you actually have playlists. So you could go through this lunar phase and check out different phases like next lunar cycle. You could use this as a reference guide. And you'd be like, look at this moon app and we are about the 5th day. And what is this lunar cycle phase usually like? And then there's also a playlist for my full episodes of Charmed Life on the YouTube channel. All right. Well, with that being said, we are in about the 20th day, depending on when you're listening to this. And by the way, we all have a personal lunar cycle. I am charting the global lunar cycle in this series. And the global lunar cycle is something that we are all collectively engaged in. It is what is being presented by the collective. And we also have a personal lunar cycle. And that personal lunar cycle may or may not align with the global lunar cycle. And there's no wrong or right way to do it. We are all here together balancing one another. And, I did mention this at the beginning of this series, but it bears repeating just in case we've forgotten. But this is why it is actually totally cool for you to go and just pick whatever you're guided to along this series, because it could have to do with your personal lunar cycle, or it could have to do with just whatever energies you are working with at the time for whatever reason. And when I say personal lunar cycle, if you are a person who menstruates, then it's pretty easy to see what your lunar cycle is because it aligns with the bleed and then the ovulation and then the not bleeding part. Essentially that's how your cycle is evidentialized for you. And if you're a person who doesn't menstruate, well, then you have an even cooler task because you want to be in your inner energy to find out what your tuning is. And again, it's not like more aligned if you happen to align with the global lunar cycle. But if you want to detect what your lunar cycle is and you do not menstruate, then you want to journal. And if you want to use maybe, I think it was my episode 3 where I went through all of the phases, the 8 phases, the 3.5 day phases of the lunar cycle as opposed to like every single day. And you could kind of look at that and just see what you may be feeling along that cycle at the time, and then you could chart your own lunar cycle. And the distinction is that you will be bringing a certain kind of energy to the outward energy, and then it's a beautiful balance. And the way I've described it before is, again, there is no right or more aligned or whatever way to do it. But if you were to drop a pebble into a still water, then let's say that drop of the pebble is aligning your personal cycle, aligning with the global cycle. And then there are all these ripples that are balancing it and creating a beautiful effect and movement. And then so you may be one of the ripples, you know what I mean? It's all a part of it so that there's actually creation. The surface of the water is moving in creation. And so that's what we're all here to do. Well, with that being said, this being the 20th day and in that waning gibbous, a reminder, gibbous means when the moon is illuminated more than 50%. So we are approaching the third quarter, which will present to us, from our perspective, a half moon. And we also have a half moon at toward the beginning of the lunar phase, and that is the first quarter. But we are now past the full moon and the illumination is waning, meaning it's getting smaller. As I am recording this, the moon is illuminated about 85 to 87%. And you may be listening to it at another time, and that's totally fine. The illumination of the moon is the way that the moon is receiving the sun's light and energy, and then expressing it herself. And so that's what you are doing, or that's what the collective is working through. Having fully expressed themselves from pulling the energy from source and then fully expressing it. And now we are starting to turn our face back to source to receive the charge up because we have fully manifested. We have fully co-created. So we are just past the time of harvest. We are feasting still, we are sharing, we are being grateful, and we are being of service to one another, which is what we talked about in yesterday's mini episode of Phase 19. And today, as I felt into the energy, it's a state of bliss. It's a state of complete comfort. It's not necessarily really excited, and it's not necessarily depressive. It's somewhere in between at a very pleasant state. And a very satisfied state. And what it really feels like to me is like warm soup belly. It's like when you've had a delicious harvest soup and you've eaten a big bowl of fresh cooked soup with maybe with herbs and, maybe some spices, whatever vegetables you love. And you're just so cozy with your warm soup belly. That's the energy to experience right now. And so if you're like right now saying like, I had a crazy day, I so don't feel warm soup belly, well, then maybe go get yourself some warm soup and move into that energy, because that's what the moon is presenting. That's the energy of the global lunar cycle right now, is warm soup belly. I actually didn't create that term on my own. Do you remember that show, How I Met Your Mother? They said it once on How I Met Your Mother, and I was like, yes, warm soup belly is so a thing. And so that's where we are right now. Bliss, peace, comfort, really satisfied. And again, if you, for some reason, are with your manifestation, if you're feeling disappointment or not total connection to that full abundance, then listen to yesterday's episode, because we talk about really recognizing what you have, because you are being asked to really look at what you have and be grateful and appreciative of it. And then you will find that you have soup available. And then you can move into that satisfied, warm soup belly experience. That's about all I have for you today with this episode, this mini episode of Charmed Life. But as a reminder, you guys, I mentioned at the beginning, before the episode, and afterward, I just put in these couple of little ads, but I wanted to say, if you are listening to this somewhere before the time of November 20th, 2019, then the early bird pricing for my animal communication program is going to shift over to the regular price. Early bird is available until November 20th, and then we start at the beginning of December. So go check it out. You can find the link in this description here. It's not mentioned in the little bumper that I have for you guys, but it's going to be amazing. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are. Hey everyone, it's Tricia Carr. I'm really excited because it is the time of the year for me to offer my Animal Communication Comprehensive Program live online. Whether you are interested in the profession or if you would like to connect more deeply with your own animal family members, having an understanding of this form of telepathy will enhance your life and all of your other intuitive gifts. About once per year, I offer this program live, and that time is now. It is starting in December of 2019, and this particular live program has some bonus time added in. So the way this program works is it is delivered live online, and we also have a private study group of a beautiful community of like-hearted animal and nature lovers. Go ahead and check it out. The link is in the description, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for your love of animals, for your love of our planet, and for shining your light on our beautiful world.